Hey everyone, my name is Chris, and you might recognize me from the YouTube channel called Real Rideshare Stories, but today we're on the Rideshare Hub. And if you don't know what the Rideshare Hub is, it's a channel all about being a better rideshare driver and making more money. So if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded to the Rideshare Hub. But before we get started, if you've been thinking about becoming a Uber or Lyft driver, make sure you click the link in the description below so you can get a sign-on bonus. All right, so we are going to talk about what I made this past weekend, being a typical weekend, and what you can look at if you have been thinking about just doing weekend driving for Uber or Lyft. There was a first video that was done, which is a typical week that I go out for because I drive part-time. So I drive usually Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. For mine, that's my typical week. So if you want to check out what I make for that and what you can kind of vary it between that for yourself, check out that video, which was posted already. Today, we're going to be talking about what you can typically make on a weekend for a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night going out and driving. All right, so I did pretty well. It was a kind of a slow and yet kind of a busy weekend. It was this weird mix between the two, but it ended up being a very typical, very average weekend for me. So I wrote down all of the statistics for you guys so we can break it down really, and I can show you. But totally, we're going to put at the very end of what I made, and it's going to be a breakdown of everything. So the miles, the amount of gas that I used, also what I averaged for the per hour rate for the 3 days that I was out. So on Thursday, I took 17 trips. I was online for 5 hours and 10 minutes. I made $102.71 and $15 in promotions. So the promotion that they were running was $3 per ride from 10 to midnight and then midnight to 4 a.m. So it was two different times. So you could get up to $15 for each promotional time because it was $3 per ride for 5 rides. So in this circumstance, I made $15 in promotions with 5 rides. And it ended up being a total of $117.71 for Thursday night. And again, like I said, I was out for 5 hours and 10 minutes, and that equated to $23.54 an hour for being out for those 5 hours. I went out around, I can't even remember what time I went out. I think it was 8:30 when I actually went out, but I can double check that. But I believe it was 8:30. And for the mileage that I put on the vehicle, which is also important, you want to make sure you do, it was 122 miles that I drove for Thursday night. So yeah, you can see, Thursday night, that's usually college night. That's when people are going out, also going to the bar, going to have some fun, usually a busier night. And I averaged $23.54. That included, like I said, $15 in promotions as well, because those promotions are great. Also, quick disclaimer. I didn't drive for Lyft at all this weekend, even though I do drive for both platforms. This is all Uber because they were running the promotions this weekend. Lyft was not. Sorry, Lyft. Get some more promotions, and I'll drive there too. But yeah, so let's move on to Friday night. Usually typically busier because it's Friday. Everybody's going out. Everybody's having fun. Different things are going on. So I ended up taking 16 trips, which is actually one less than what was Thursday. And I was online for 4 hours and 32 minutes, which I made $83.67, and I had $30 in promotions for that. So they were all very short rides that night, but I did get the full promotion for that night, which was $30 for 2 rounds of 5 rides each with $3. So that was pretty nice. It ended up being $113.67. And again, for 4 hours and 32 minutes, that ended up being on average $25.26 per hour. So a little bit better, even though I was out less, and made a little less, but those promotions definitely helped out. And for the mileage, I drove 98.5 miles. So again, like I say, that's definitely an important thing to make sure you know. Now, Saturday. Saturday was a very different kind of day because they were all very long rides and not anything too crazy, none of the 45-minute rides, but they were longer rides where they were like 25, 30 minutes. So it was actually kind of a different type of night, which I don't mind because whenever I'm online and actually have a ride, I'm making money and I'm happy. So Saturday, this was great. I took 7 rides. And I only worked 4 hours. So I went out at 8 p.m., worked just after midnight, just after. It was one ride, and I'm like, I looked at the amount that I made, and I said, you know what? I'm happy with that. I'm going home. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. So I ended up going home. So I worked only 4 hours and 1 minute. That was it. And my total was $105.83. It was $100.83 that I made with $5 in promotions. I didn't stay out for it, and I was going all over the different area. The promotion was only in certain areas, and I wasn't in that, which was fine because, like I said, it was long rides anyways. So I also made $20 in cash tips. The other nights, I can't remember what I made in cash tips, so I didn't add them in, but it was probably like $10 each night. But yeah, so with that being with the cash tips and the 105.83 that I made while on the road, for the 4 hours I was out, it equated to $31.45 per hour for those 7 trips. Now for the mileage, it was 121.9 miles. So it was a little bit more in the mileage because of going more ride length and more ride time, but again, like I said, I was only out for 4 hours, and I hit a good amount of money, and I was happy with that. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my night. So I did. So now here's the totals for everything, and I'm gonna show you the screenshot right now too for the entire total because it's just the way it is. But I did also go out Tuesday and Wednesday night before, so what you're going to see on there isn't, but here's what it looks like for the total, and then what I made for the 3 nights that I was out. It was $358.21 with $35 in cash. So it ended up being $393.21, and I was online for 13 hours and 43 minutes, which that equated to $28.60 per hour. So let me say that again. It was $28.60 per hour for the 13 hours and 43 minutes that I was out for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you can see if you drive at night on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, it is pretty busy. You're going to make some pretty decent money. People are going to restaurants. People are going home from restaurants, to the bars, out to friends' houses, to parties, to getting home, going to work, whatever it might be. It's a very busy time. So if you've been thinking about becoming the driver or looking at changing your schedule a little bit, or seeing what nights are like, there you go. That's, like I said, a typical night. And the promotions, the way they run is a little bit differently than other promotions around the areas where you might drive. So it really just depends on what's going on. But again, it's always area dependent. It's always how many drivers are out there, how many passengers are out there. It's a lot of different things. So yeah, those were my totals. Now on to what I spent for gas, because the total miles that I drove for those 3 nights was 342 miles and 342 and a half miles. So it was a pretty good amount of driving that I did do. That's basically like driving equivalent from New York City to Buffalo, or Buffalo to New York. So that's kind of if you're just going straight. But obviously, there was times where I'm sitting waiting for the next ride to come in. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And the gas that I spent, so the amount that I actually spent in gas was about $60. So for making almost $400 and only having to spend $60 in gas for a Jeep Grand Cherokee, that's not bad. at least in my opinion. So yeah, like I said, if you've been thinking about becoming a driver, if you've been worried about doing driving at night, or if you've been wanting to look at changing your schedule to maybe work on weekends as well, you can make some pretty decent money. You can enjoy doing a pretty decent buck and then enjoying other time off. So it's really up to you what you think about. Thursday I went out. I believe it was 8. Or it was 9. I don't remember. Friday when I went out, it was 8:30 when I did go out. And then Saturday, it was a little after 8 as well, too. So I usually start my nights usually around 8 p.m. And I'll go sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning. But for this weekend, it really wasn't that bad. I did go out on Thursday. I think it was until almost 2. Friday, I just decided to call it quits a little earlier. And then same thing with Saturday. Once I hit a decent amount, I was happy with it. And I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to enjoy. So yeah, that's typically what I made. Again, for the area that I'm in Buffalo, Niagara Falls, New York. But like I said, the weekends are always busier. You're going to make more money. That was a typical weekend. That was an average, good, enjoyable weekend. Did a pretty decent buck, almost $400. Actually, almost $400. And I can't complain for working 3 nights, averaging $28.60. So yeah, that was a great time. If you guys had any questions or anything, make sure to comment below. I know myself and Dylan will try to get to any comments about the breakdowns or anything more. But if you are driving, one of the breakdown things is, again, also, I forgot to say, quick disclaimer, this is all gross pay. So this is before you take money out for your taxes or benefits. If you have to purchase benefits for yourself, being an independent contractor, that's all for you to do. Also, like I said, I spent $60 in gas, but I didn't. That was included in a maintenance fee that I take out for the amount of mileage I drive. So I track all that mileage and then I charge myself. So I separate that mileage out so I have enough for gas and then maintenance when my vehicle does need it, whether it be brakes, whether it be oil changes, whether it be I don't know, something even bigger, maybe like a blown water pump or something that I have to replace, where it could be a little bit more money. Whatever it might be, that's pretty much covered in there and taken all. So then after that, that's kind of your take-home pay or your net pay. So I just wanted to make sure that I did get that in there. Also, like I said, though, if you do have any questions on the breakdown or anything like that, comment below. Dylan and I will definitely try to answer any questions that you guys have. But with that being said, that's the end of today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed another video from the Rideshare Hub. Stay tuned for next week's video where I'm going to do an actual full-time week, which is 40 hours. I'm going to try to get to that. I'm very busy, so it's tough for me to even carve out 40 hours just to do rideshare. But I'm going to try my best to get 40 hours so I can show you guys what it's like and then the breakdown of all that as well. So make sure you stay tuned for that and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified for not only that video, but every other video that's presented through the Rideshare Hub. Also, make sure to check out my channel called Real Rideshare Stories, where we do some different tips and tricks for both passengers and drivers, where we do bad driving caught on camera compilations, but also what happens on actual rideshare rides. So make sure you go check out my channel, hit the sub button there too, and you guys have a great day. Also, if you've been thinking about becoming a Uber Lyft driver, again, make sure to hit the link in the description below for a good sign-on bonus. We'll see you next time.